No.
The show for the website.
Yeah. No, you've got the question wrong. Do I care? Do I need permission? Am I going to listen to permission?
Well, knowing you, probably not, but...
There you go.
Yeah. So, but we ain't telling, are we? What folks know won't hurt them. Don't know
What
won't hurt them.
secrets is he going to give away that aren't already online?
Oh, you know what? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I know.
Hi.
I actually know a few. I have
Well,
a
you
few.
know, I mean, this whole room is on camera, so.
Yes, it is. I mean, well, actually, it's not. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is. Hi. Are you having fun yet with him?
We're just chewing the fat.
You can't chew no fat. The administration's going to stop you from doing that. Did y'all see that one?
No chewing fat.
Yeah. Did you see that? But anyway.
No, I didn't.
Oh yes, I don't know how many billions of dollars this one's going to cost to get the entire nation healthy by 2030.
What does healthy mean?
Well,
Well,
well, by
actually-
2030, we're all going to be losing weight because they will be killing off all the farms by then. So.
Well, the
I'm
latest.
such a Debbie Downer.
You know what? I'm kind of feeling that myself. But the upside is, look at you. You look like you're dressed for fall, as do I. Oops, a little bit. Look at you in your fall color.
Pumpkin.
It doesn't match your red hat. In fact, you're kind of a mess. But,
Ask me. Hey, look. When I used to have to go all over the country seeing my customers, I was dressed to the nines.
yeah.
And after 10
He's being
minutes,
defensive right now, Steve.
and after 10 minutes of being at a customer site, because I was out on the factory floor, they told me, ditch the tie, ditch the jacket, wear sneakers tomorrow.
I'm teasing you. Did you just
I
get
know that.
offended?
No,
You're
that's
you're
not
acting
just my-
like,
that's just
He's
my standard
explaining
line.
why he's dressing like a
but he
homeless
doesn't
person.
have to.
Oh,
The point is you don't have to.
well, you heard her say it. I don't have to do anything.
I did not.
I
say
don't
that.
have to tell her anything.
Do not. You do not twist my words.
My work has no dress code, so I just wear it.
But at
Whatever-
least you match.
whatever-
At least you match.
Whatever's closest.
Well, the only thing that really doesn't match
Is the hat. No, that's right.
and I use that as a beacon. Granite
Yeah,
rock in the
rock.
house.
Yes, in the house.
Until some people, like Democrats, look at me from the back and go, "What is it? Another MAGA person?" Until I turn around, and I've had people start swearing behind me until I turn around. Then they see the front of the hat and they go, "What?"
No, I'm not giving it to you. I'm letting you use it.
What am I gonna
Each
use
of
it
you
for?
need a pen. I don't know if you have one on you. Oh, there's
I do.
some there. Well, you're going to need it.
What am I going to write on it?
Oh,
Oh, I'm going to hand it out to you.
Post-it note.
No, this is Life with Liz school today.
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a test.
There is going to be a test. Sorry. But I know y'all will pass.
This
with-
is a pen you don't want to use.
No, you're
I-
right. You're right about that. And I bet
I
you
have pens.
she has given me many.
I know her.
Of course you do. You know everybody.
No, I
Oh,
don't.
I can see one in there. I think that's mine. I leave them everywhere. No, that's Bardis. Never mind. I don't think about Bardis at all.
All right, so just know that you are on candid camera. We're gonna zoom in a little too.
No, do not do that.
Why?
Don't. Do not zoom.
Why?
Because
Why?
I don't like it.
You're prettier than
I-
Steve and I.
I don't want to be zoomed in on. Seriously.
Okay.
Really, it's a problem for me. I
Okay.
hate photos and I hate zoom in. Oh, somebody's calling me. Spam. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, a little is just don't. Just don't.
Okay. Am I okay for you now? I moved over.
Yep, everybody's all set.
Okay. So,
So what are we doing there then? Why are you just same old?
same old, same old.
Same old.
I'm just playing with the new battery pack mount. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. Do y'all? You know what I'm gonna do here real quick?
No.
I'm gonna go ahead, but you can't cheat and Google anything here, okay?
Well, now that I've taken my camera away from me, I can. Got a
Okay.
phone I can borrow?
Okay, see what I've done
You're
here
right.
for
I can
y'all.
just turn the computer
You'll
on
have to
for you,
have
too.
something to lean on, though.
Giving somebody with a master's
This
in
is an
computer science a
autumn-
computer? Yeah,
Okay, we
baby.
could probably hire you to
Trivia quiz.
fix some of our computer problems.
I was trying to come up with something
That would
positive,
be
Steve, you know? It's just hard these days.
I think we just made an IT department for the station.
I'm always positive.
The
You
question is, can you
Actually,
afford-
you've been writing some great
I don't know.
stuff.
We do.
Well,
I know.
Well, I can put you in touch with somebody who can answer that.
Yeah, well, my company used to charge me out 15 years ago at $2.50 an hour. My rates have gone up.
Because of Ukraine.
No, because I'm retired. I still get old customers calling me up wanting me to do stuff, and I go, no, I enjoy what I'm doing now more. So the price goes up. One guy said, okay, just get it done.
A government shutdown cleared a key procedural hurdle in the Senate on Tuesday after lawmakers stripped a proposal from Senator Joe Manchin on energy permitting reform from the legislation. Both chambers need to approve the bill before midnight Friday to keep the government.
Better take your test real quick.
Oh, I'm supposed
Or
to
I'm
do
gonna
this
send you,
now?
yeah, well, you know what? I thought, you know what, there's
Holy
more
cow.
thinking and thought here than I thought. And so I want y'all to go ahead and do it while we're not on air yet. I don't want to waste the time with you actually doing it. Don't cheat. You cannot collaborate. Ah, don't look at him.
I'm looking at you.
Do not. I took it myself. I did not do well. But then
Okay.
I'm not from this part of the country,
We,
right?
we can only select one? Or can I go 1, 2, 3, 4?
No, no, no. It's
You know, sort
bubble.
of like
You know
that.
how to bubble?
Well, what about that ranked voting?
No, that doesn't. That's not counting here. That is not. This is multiple choice. I mean,
I have no idea.
I left a lot of these.
I
behind.
think I want to see how smart y'all really are. Cause Skip,
Poetry?
You think
No.
you're really smart.
No, I always say that I'm just an ordinary schlub from central New Hampshire. And I've been saying that for years,
I know.
and he can swear to it.
I know. I know. I do know that. I do know that. That's how I introduce you as an ordinary schlub.
Yep,
Okay.
works for me.
I'm writing it down.
Go ahead.
Schlub. Is that a Yiddish? Some
I'm
kind
just
of.
like
Schlub?
guessing
Yes,
now.
it is Yiddish.
Yeah, Yiddish. Okay, I'm gonna introduce you as an ordinary schlub. Can y'all believe? Can you believe?
SCHLUB.
I didn't notice.
Oh my God! You had to notice. It's such a rarity. Come on, it is. It's such a rarity. But I knew that I couldn't be late, or I'd get locked out of this place again.
Movies. I don't watch movies. Did I put all?
You're complaining.
I am.
Stop with the
Oh,
whining.
there's more
You are
questions on
whining.
the back.
Whine. There's only 10, isn't there? Just 10. It's 10 questions. Quit thinking so
I'm
hard.
guessing on 6 of them.
Okay.
Oh, another poetry.
I think this is a good thing that we didn't take the time on air. Y'all are slow
Can I
as
take the
molasses.
citizens test? That I can pass.
Oh,
Yes.
oh yes.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
true.
I know. I just wanted to do something different, Next time I see you, there won't be any leaves on the trees,
There's
Uh-uh,
my
keep it.
failing test.
Nope, keep it. I'm not going to grade it. You're going to grade it.
I'm gonna agree.
Y'all hear this?
I don't watch these TV programs either.
Hey, do you know who this is?
I have no clue.
You have no clue. Oh, that's another This doesn't fit me right. Something happened to my head.
Oh, I get. I'll have one.
Thank
right.
you.
One right.
Don't turn it in yet to
No.
check. You're gonna have to self-correct.
And you have to be honest.
Correct this.
Can't cheat. Mhm. So we're supposed to stand up. Wait. You know how to Good morning, y'all. This is Liz, Life with Liz, here on WSMN 1590 AM, 95.3 FM. You can see us live streaming only on Facebook now because my YouTube channel has been deleted, absolutely taken down by the fascist YouTube. And so, but you can see us every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday mornings, 11 to noon, on Facebook, which is Life with Liz NH. Easy schmeezy. So what else might I say? Well, let me just go ahead and say that intro violin version of Star Spangled Banner was, nobody knows here, I can tell. No. Okay. Was played none other than by our former state rep, Michael Yakubovich. And he played this to our New Hampshire State House back on June 9th. And it's beautiful. And I think there probably wasn't a dry eye in the house then. And certainly for those of us who know what's going on with Michael Yakubovich, I just want to say, Michael, if you are listening, get well and be well and fight. And we miss you. We're thinking and praying for you. So Michael did win his state not rep, his Senate run.
Primary.
His primary here in New Hampshire, he did, and but very quickly thereafter he needed to withdraw himself, and a replacement was, put in there, Keith Murphy, and Michael is got a quite the struggle ahead of him relative to his health, and we wish him well. So, with that said, let's go ahead and intro the two folks that are sitting kindly, patiently here in the studio with me. We have Steve McDonald to my right, and we have Skip Murphy to my further right.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Or my left, whichever. No, anyway.
I am always on your right.
No, you're always
I
on
will
the
always
right.
be
That's
on
right.
the right.
These guys are none other, and y'all know them well, than just the gurus of granite grok.
Goobers.
I said gurus.
Oh, I
You
think
said
I-
goobers.
Y'all are.
Goobers of
Why
Grant
do you
Rock.
think?
Well,
We're gonna
that
have to go
fits.
back to the
Okay.
transcript.
No, I said
Well,
gurus.
we're going
It
to go back to the video.
Yeah.
Maybe it
I,
was
su-
the
I, su-
accent.
I
don't-
surprised her.
Yeah.
She walked in and I'm recording today on my camera.
Well, okay then. So I'm not.
Unzoomed.
I'm
All right, you
Yeah.
goober.
unzoomed. Thank you. Goober. I said gurus.
Gurus.
Goober number 1 and goober
Yeah,
number 2.
well, I'm
We can
gonna-
be
okay.
goobers too.
You can be
Goobers
goobers.
works.
I
Goobers are
I
good.
was gonna start out
Be,
nice.
Goober gurus.
There you go.
Hey, you're taking control of the show already.
Oh, stop!
No, let's let
No,
Liz
no,
go. It
no,
is
no,
her show.
no. Let's go. Because
She
we
paid for the microphone.
no time to waste here, guys. So welcome. Thank you for joining me yet again on our monthly show, which is entitled "Liz Rocks with the Groks." Quit trying to knock me off, mister.
I'm not.
What are you doing over there?
I showed people that you've made us get. You're
we're
making
getting-
us take a test before we can talk.
We're getting to this. Okay, so before we really do get rocking, I do want to let our listeners know that in fact, y'all, you too, Skip Murphy, Steve McDonald, were forced to take a little quiz. Okay, and it's an autumn trivia quiz. Is what it is. So we're going to go through it real quickly. This was prior to, and let the folks know how well you did. How's that? Okay, are you ready? All right. So first question: what word was commonly used before the 16th century to refer to the autumn season? Any answers?
I said harvest.
And
I said reap.
X check.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, that's the one I got right.
Yes, you got that right. Okay, it is harvest. Okay, next question. The English Romantic poet wrote the poem. Okay, I didn't let folks know this is multiple choice. I was going to make y'all sound smarter than you really are by saying there was no multiple choice. You didn't have, answer choices, right? So let's try this again. What English Romantic poet wrote the poem To Autumn, which describes the season as a time of mellow fruitfulness, but also evokes a sense of melancholy? This is an English Romantic poet. Paul Verlaine, John Byron, John Keats, William Wordsworth. The answer is, I'll go ahead and tell you, and you can be embarrassed or not, is John Keats.
I got it wrong.
You got it wrong?
I did.
That would
That's
be.
a guess. I didn't. I told you.
What
I
about-
guessed, told you I guessed on 6 of these.
That's so funny. I got that one right. Haha. What'd you get, Skip?
Well, it doesn't have anything to do with mitochondria, which I really did study. I never studied poetry. I don't read poetry.
I need a short answer.
Oh, John Byron.
Wrong guy.
Wrong guy.
X. Next one, question
See,
3.
You're in a domain that I have no experience at all.
They're not all about poetry. Keep going. In the northern
The second
hemisphere.
one, another one is.
Number 3. In the northern hemisphere, autumn begins in September. When does it begin in the southern hemisphere? March, February, April, or January? The answer is March.
Yay.
Okay, yay, and
Yay,
2 yays.
because I can
That's a
count
good
on my
thing.
fingers.
Okay, next one. And this is question number 4. What term refers to the full moon closest to the autumn equinox? Is that right? Do I have that one right?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
okay,
number
sorry
4.
about that. Harvest moon, bright moon, blue moon, reap moon. The answer is, what is it? Y'all know this one, right?
I said harvest.
Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, that's an easy schmeezy. Okay, next one, number 5.
Already doing better than I thought I would.
In what autumn movie can you see Richard Gere and Winona Ryder walking through a beautiful fall foliage? If you had half a brain, by the way, you could figure this one out, even if you don't know movies. But you know what? Moving on. So
I left
yeah,
that half
so-
at home. Do we get the answer?
Wait,
Doesn't matter.
Autumn Leaves, the name of the movie, Autumn Leaves. Autumn Song, Autumn in New York, or Autumn Sonata. The answer is Autumn in New York.
Oh my God, I got it right.
Yeah.
Me too, especially where New York has probably the fewest trees.
By process of elimination, almost, you could have got that one.
No.
Yeah, you
No,
could.
random.
Okay, no, it's not. What, number 6, what English novelist and poet, best known for her book Wuthering Heights, wrote a poem containing the verses, "Every leaf speaks bliss to me, fluttering from the autumn tree"? Is her name Anne Bront, Jane Austen, George Eliot, that's a he, and it, she, what, okay, Emily Bront.
George was actually a she
The-
when he wrote it.
The answer, hold it, let me get to my page here. The answer is, in fact, Emily Bront. Woo woo, anybody get it?
Nope.
Number 7, which of these birds, we're almost done, I promise.
Autumn. The only thing I
Which-
think of in autumn is pulling the trigger on the leaf blower.
Which of these birds does not, this is very interesting, does not migrate in the autumn? Ravens, storks, hummingbirds, or swallows? Let's see. The answer, I do know this one. I think I got it wrong though. I did. Ravens is the correct answer.
Oh, I got that right too.
Oh, okay.
My bio degree rises for me.
Number 8. What famous TV character spoke the words, "There is a time of year in New York when, even before the first leaf falls, you can feel the seasons click. The air is crisp, the summer is gone, and for the first night in a long time, you need a blanket on your bed." Oh, that's so soothing. Susan Meyer, Desperate Housewives. Marissa Cooper, The OC. I don't even know what The OC is. Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City. Rachel Green, Friends. Who said that? The answer is Carrie Bradshaw.
That's another lucky guess right
Sex and the City.
Steve, you
Yes.
noticed that she pulled chick TV shows.
there. He did too, yeah.
Like,
But you-
like we would watch
But
this.
the thing is, I don't even know what an OC is. What is OC?
Orange County.
I think you're wrong.
Because I used to fly in there. Gob's worth of
That's the name of the
Gob's for
show?
Goobers. Here we go.
It
That's
was
the
a
name
cop
of the
show.
Is it? Orange
Yeah.
County?
Was it?
It was, the OC was a cop show. So it might mean something else. I never watched it. I just know that it was.
Okay,
Oh.
we're moving on. Somebody
I
will
didn't.
Google that for us and let us know. Because you know what else today is? It's Call-In Wednesday. Folks can call in to 816, what is it? 603. 603-816-1590.
You have to
Right,
take the
Art?
test.
603-816-1590.
Different.
And you can tell us your
Test.
score. Yeah, right.
Did
Okay,
she
and
bring
number
goober ribbons
number
for
9.
us to wear
We're
on
trying
our
to finish
shirts?
this. We have just spent too much time. Be quiet. Number 9. Brightly colored foliage is the image most commonly associated with autumn. What region in the U.S., I that y'all got in the U.S. is popular leaf peeping tourist destination. Great Lakes, Great Plains, Sonoma Valley, or New England. Ah,
New
we know.
England.
Ah, we got that. And last but
Well,
not least,
Aspens in Colorado are pretty cool too.
are they?
Yes.
Can't be like this. Cannot be. Well, let's finish number 10. Cannot be. I remember coming here and what I witnessed here. It is an absolute stunning thing.
It is.
It is a stunning thing.
Up my
and
way, the
must be
color
on a-
is going to be great.
and must be on our bucket list, and if you can, right? I think. Okay, last question. What is the name of the popular harvest festival celebrated in China, close to the autumn equinox? Lantern Festival, Moon Festival, Dragon Festival, or Sun Festival? The answer is. I knew this one. I would know this. Moon Festival. Because
Only
we
if
did this-
President Xi continues to agree with that.
Well, the thing is in Singapore, there's lots of Chinese, right? And so
I got that.
there was a. You got that
I
right.
got that.
I got
Hey, what y'all score?
I got 7 out of 10.
Congratulations, ding ding,
I
because
thought
if
I'd
you
get
were
4.
so the site I got this from, which I can't find it now, but is the average member. You have to be a member of this site somehow, which I guess you got to pay money. Would be my
Is the
guess.
IRS going to come after us now because we didn't join?
The average score for the members of the site is 7 out of 10, 70%. What did you get, Mr. Skip? So that was Steve. You got 30. What?
3.
30%?
When you
You
when
fail.
the-
You fail.
when you pick domains that I have no expertise in whatsoever, of course
I don't want to hear you whining. Well, guess what? I got a 50%.
If
I
you want
beat
to
you.
quiz him on October political surprises, he'll probably do very well
Okay.
without.
Okay.
Thank you, Steve.
You needed a boost of confidence, didn't you, Mr.
And I know
Skip?
the backstory as to why Keith Murphy was
Okay.
selected.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead and move ahead with that because I wanted to. I know y'all are the guests, right? But today,
Oh.
I am always, and to always, I'm the host.
But
right?
I was just
So-
sworn to secrecy over it. But
Oh.
just wanted to let you know that I know things.
Well, what's the point of bringing that up on here?
Guess
then?
what I heard?
Guess what I know? Well, okay.
See, Mr. Board
No, you have to
Operator, this
guess.
is what we do.
Oh
Yes.
my
And
gosh.
even if you guess right, I can't tell you.
Oh. Okay. Well, Keith Murphy, I know of him. He's
Yep.
he's got Murphy's Tap House, Tap Room, whatever it is, in Bedford and Manchester.
Yep.
Right. So
We've held events at the Manchester one.
and I'm in Bedford. I've been to events, lots of them in Bedford. Right. Really good place.
Yeah, very nice place.
Very nice place. So that's about all I know because that's all I've known about him since I've been here.
He's been a state rep.
Okay. All right.
A good one.
A good one.
Been in the Liberty Movement for years.
Okay. So this is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Yay.
Yeah, I mean,
Absolutely.
it's not a bad. I mean, if it's, I assume it's a pretty decent Republican seat. It includes Bedford, does it?
Yes.
No.
No.
No, it does not. He is
No.
not our.
Oh,
we
wait,
have
Bedford's
Denise
part of it.
Ricciardi.
You have Denise. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, but this is good, right?
Yes.
A nice substitute, right? For
Yes.
Michael Jacobo.
Yeah, I like Keith a lot.
North of that, right? Like Hook's a part of Manchester.
Goffstown.
Maybe Goffstown.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I know. So this is good. Okay. Well, then you're not going to share anything more. Can we move on?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, sure.
Okay. We will do that. So
You mean he's not gonna not share anything?
I
How do you
can't.
say that? He didn't share anything. So
it was sort of like a nanny
I
nanny boo
can't-
boo moment.
I kept a secret.
Guess what?
And now I'm on.
You goober.
Well, okay.
Hey,
All right.
I am
So-
a goober for liberty. That's the next T-shirt.
Goober
or
for
mug.
liberty. Yeah.
Okay, come on, guys. Come on. Get come on. Straighten up here. This is
Can we get a little?
We
picture-
are.
Especially-
We are straight.
especially
Can we
you.
get a little picture of Goober from Fraggle Rock? Is that on there? 'Cause I remember Fraggle Rock. That was cool.
That was a great
It
show.
was. Anyway.
I'm going to ask you to leave. You failed the test, Mr. Skip. I'm
You
going to
didn't
ask you
pass
to leave.
either.
I got
No,
seven.
he did.
Seven?
He did a
Oh, seven?
70%. That's
Well, you only got 50%.
I-
That's still an F. You need to leave.
no, my show. I do what I
Hey,
want to.
it's
My
your show now. We all fail.
Okay. Oh, Lord. You know what I entitled the show today? Okay, y'all want to know? Moving on here. You
Did it
ready?
have the word Goober in it?
No. Hey, Art, is there a point when the producer / board operator can walk these folks out, right?
You can turn our
For
mics off.
abuse? For abuse? I mean,
He hasn't-
seriously.
he hasn't-
Wasting my valuable time?
He hasn't heard of one of our unofficial mottos. we're armed with more than just opinions?
That's it. You gotta figure out the rest.
Oh, sorry, it took me a moment. And I'm so happy about that.
You are the safest
too.
radio show in New Hampshire right
Although
now.
Lord
you're gonna have
have
to rely
mercy.
on him because my back is to the door, which is really not a great place
But the
to be.
upside for you, let me tell you, is you're not on wheels anymore.
I did fine
Because,
on wheels.
and here's the thing, you're on wheels, I'm on wheels, right? But I gotta say this, and we're gonna move on, is that Elliot Axelman
Oh, really?
was in with me, and I have never, I've asked if anybody has ever done what he did. So he's in this, and the guy's on fire, right?
Well,
like
he's
all
a
the
little
time.
hyper, yeah.
Yes. Guess what he did when he was
rolled off the
leaving?
stairs,
He-
'cause I asked about that a couple months back.
No.
I'm like, anybody ever go down the stairs?
Yes.
Leave it up
Guess
to
who
Elliot
did
to
it?
do it after
He
I-
did it. Lou, congratulations.
Elliot,
you
I hope
changed.
you're okay.
Yeah, he was fine. He was fine, but he had to be reported, to
Yeah.
management. And look what they did. So you have no. Okay,
Did it
moving.
go
But
in his
we.
permanent
They
record?
took away my wheels.
They took away your.
It was not a hazard for me, so I guess I'm fine with the stationary chair. It's okay.
The title of today's show is just and I'm glad we had some fun here, because there is a lot of
Because we certainly don't
serious
get
stuff.
paid doing this.
There is a lot of serious stuff out there, right? So, in looking at what y'all been doing,
Yep.
right, in your blogs on granitegrok.com.
Our posts, yep.
What the heck? Are they posts or blogs? We've been through this before.
We do posts on a blog site.
Some people,
What am I supposed to
some
say?
people call. You can call him whatever you want
Yeah,
Then why does he correct me every time?
because he's an engineer and he can't help it.
I am.
Okay, this is questionable, but you get to come back next
This is
month.
why you always
Okay,
give
so-
him a hard time because he's like that.
And you like giving me a hard time.
Okay.
What does that say about me?
Calm down.
The teacher
Zen
would
it.
like us to
Zen it.
sit
Okay,
in the
this
chair.
is Open Line Wednesday. It's 603-816-1590. This is Liz, Life with Liz, Rocking with the Groks, with Steve Murphy and... Oh, I did it.
Who's the goober
Second
now?
time I've done that. Steve McDonald. Oh my God. I'm not even looking up at y'all. I'm not even looking at
I'm
you
not
all
doing
after
anything,
what
I'm
I
just
just
sitting in my
did.
wheelless
It's the
chair.
second time. Steve McDonald and Skip Murphy. Okay. God dang, man. We're running out of time.
He's play-by-play. I'm color. That's
Okay.
just-
I'm not promoting y'all anymore
Okay.
today, okay? I've entitled it The Fundamental Destruction. These are my words. I put it in quotes. Not the fundamental transformation, but the fundamental destruction of America, brought to you by the Democrat Marxist Party, okay? So that is what I've entitled it, because I was reading some of y'all's stuff, right? And not just that, but if you have half a brain, you can see we're in trouble in this country, right?
Yes.
Wouldn't y'all agree?
Yes.
I mean, we are in deep, deep trouble
Every day.
every day. We
Worse every
truly
day.
are. And that's putting it nicely. Okay? So with that said, I'm going to begin with Steve because I like Steve a lot. And so
I'm the scapegoat.
Steve, blog number 1.
Yes, ma'am.
This is a good one. Did you try to mock me?
Nope.
Okay.
I'd never do that. Y'all have to be crazy. Let's get to getting on with this.
Sorry. Okay.
I'm glad I brought the camera this week.
Okay. And the blog number 1.
Art's sitting there going, who are these
Okay,
people?
stop it. Blog number 1, dated September 24th. The left is a cult made up of cults. My gosh, this is so awesome. So I'm going to let you talk about it. I'll hand it to you. It's not that old, but I'm going to let Mr. Steve Murphy, no, Steve McDonald, talk about it. So go, Steve. You're up.
Okay, this is Steve Murphy. Anyway, I've been using the term climate cult for years to explain their climate cult, because that's what it is.
Yep.
You know, you can't disprove it. It's basically based entirely on faith. Nothing they've ever predicted comes true. It's like a religion. But then again, I was thinking about it, and I'm going, you know what? Just about every single identity class or victim class or whatever it is that they have is like a cult. You know, the gender cult's a good example.
Mhm.
You know, they completely ignore facts and science, and they create this idea that gender doesn't matter. I just wrote another post about that, I think yesterday or today, that'll be going up. And it really is just true. I mean, COVIDism, that's a cult, right? I mean, you can't even change the science on that. I mean, they're still saying things like vaccine denier. And I'm like, what? I got tons of vaccines. I just didn't get the ones I don't need, right? So, it's a cult. You can't prove them wrong. Abortion is a cult. It's actually a blood cult. Antifa and BLM, those are cults, right? Modern feminism is a cult. Transitioning children is a cult. There's literally, it's just, and the term that I got, which I borrowed from an author whose name I'll have to look for, I know it's in here, it's just the group think and mass formation psychosis. It's the reason why Hitler got away with what he did. It's the reason why every major authoritarian dictator managed to move into power by creating this fear of something and then using that fear to elevate their influence until all there was fear. I mean, basically you have this person who is maybe a cult of personality, maybe not, but they end up creating an authoritarian state where nobody, and we talk about this all the time. I mean, you've got all these people who are supporting Democrats and the left, and whether or not they really believe in all of this stuff or not, you're still voting for them, which means you're advancing them into positions of power which allow them to exercise authority to which they are not entitled. And eventually, when they have enough of it and they don't need you anymore, that's when you're going to find out what you really mean to them. Just ask a black Republican or a black transgender person or a black gay person or any lesbian, any woman, anybody who's ever voted or said a word contrary to the cult, and you were immediately vilified, you're smeared, you're intimidated, and depending on how high up the food chain you are in the communication universe, they'll try to cancel you. And so, I mean, this absolutism, this excommunication, this is cult. This is all cult.
Isn't Marxism a cult?
Well, it certainly is a belief in economics that doesn't exist.
Yeah, but it's not just
denies
economics, right?
Human reality, human nature,
Yeah.
that we can evolve you. No.
But it is cult-like. But, okay, the other side of it, they will say Trumpism is a cult. You Trump folks. And they are doing this, right? They are calling
I wouldn't entirely
it, but
disagree
that is,
with that because
they're
Trump
calling
has a
that.
cult of personality too.
Yes.
There are people
Yes.
who are so Trump
Yes.
that they ignore the fact that he really pushed the vaccines early on, and we were telling him to stop doing that, and he just kept pushing even after he was out of office. Will you stop? These things are horrible.
Yeah.
And then there was people who they'll just support anything he says. That happens with political characters.
Anybody.
There's Sununu has his own little cult of personality. He's got his own little, homers who will support anything he says he does, even if it violates the platform of the Constitution. And it's like a cult, but it's not on the same scope, because the Democrats' cults, they have a lot of money. I mean, and if you have money, you have power and influence, you can do TV, you can do mailers, you can put people on the ground, you can just hire people to show up at events and protests. They don't even know why they're there. It's just massive. And so that's what we have to push back against. And I think there's a lot of Democrats who don't want to be part of that cult, but they're afraid to speak out. And that's the whole point, right? Make it so that nobody says anything, so you've got the only message, right?
Well, that ties into what they're now calling, again, the shy voters, where, if you remember back a month or so ago, where Biden got up with the red background lit building and the two Marines on either side, and calling out the MAGA Republicans, the extremists, the fascists, the semi-fascists, and all of that. We've been listening to this for years.
Yeah.
And in fact, again, going back to Gunstock, everybody's an extremist. It's not us. Everybody is a free stater. They accuse me of being a free stater. I've been in Guilford longer than Jason Sorens, who started the Free State Project, has been alive. But it's to take Saul Alinsky's rule,
Yep.
take a negative and turn it into a positive for them. And I've watched this play out, and as to your point about the useful idiot, New Hampshire State Rep Greg Huff, we've talked about him on the show before. He helped move forward what the Democrats wanted. The Citizens for Belknap Democrat funded and started PAC. And now that his usefulness is over, they tagged him for losing his primary. Of course I did too, but for 5 different reasons. Don't lie to me. Don't get Granite Rock angry at you. But that's what they do, and I think
And
Steve is
isn't
right.
that what happened? And you know, and I know we kind of moved on, but really quickly. We didn't talk too much about the primary, right?
Yep.
But there were those who were targeted, by Sununu and his pack, right?
Yes.
And there were 6 of them, at least, and
I think
I.
it's 7.
Okay, yeah, and I know. Okay, but there were a number. You know, 6
Yep.
between 6 and 8 is the number I'm hearing,
Yep.
and half of them lost. And then people will say, well, it's not just because of the targeting, because mailers were sent out, right? The
Granite Pack.
Granite Pack, is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the,
$27,000 spent.
you have a call.
Can't take it.
Want, want me to?
You want it?
I can do this.
Oh, wait. Okay, so $27,000, right? Spent on these mailers to target 6 Liberty
Yeah.
reps,
Some of my-
incumbent reps, right?
Some of my friends.
Okay,
And Granite Pack was originally started to help Sununu, and instead it was turned in or weaponized against his enemies,
Yes.
because most of these people said, yeah, why not impeach him? He's going beyond his constitutional bounds.
that's right.
And we're back to what Steve was saying. You know, Sununu has his own cult of friends.
Yes.
He does, and it was $250,000 collected in 1 month in 2021 from maybe 5 developers who funded it. I did all the research and posted it, and then it was set up just to support Sununu, but they spent $27,000 of that
I see.
on attacking these Republicans who had basically tried. They tried to take Sununu out politically. They proposed.
Is that legal? As in legal? Is that for election? Is that
Well,
proper?
so it wasn't. The PAC wasn't set up to do that, but he did send a letter to the Secretary of State indicating that they were adding this purpose as a function of the PAC, which is fine. But ultimately, they need to refile that initial paperwork to clarify what the role of the PAC is. He may or may not have done that yet. When we were writing about it before the primary, it had not happened yet.
Okay.
So I haven't checked on it since then.
I think we need to. But anyway, interesting. I didn't. Sorry, missed that blog. It
was
that-
2 or
yeah.
3 posts that I wrote
Mhm.
about it, and I named all the developers and donors. I named the guy who runs the PAC.
Okay.
I named all the people who were attacked.
Who runs the PAC?
I don't remember his
Okay,
name
that's
now.
okay. That's all right. That's
but,
all right. Okay, all right. Let's move on here real quickly here.
He's a Rhino guy.
Okay, unless y'all want to name any more names relative to any of this stuff right now, because I think it's, in my opinion, and again, for sort of an outsider looking in, what I for me, and I was telling somebody this the other day, is, I'm from Texas, right? And even when I was living there for many, many years, growing up, it's hard to get a handle on politics, right, in Texas, right? It is a different entity altogether.
It's so huge.
It is monstrous, right? And so if I even was in tune, which I wasn't because I was young and had children,
You were busy.
I was busy. And so, but coming here to a small state of 1.34 million people, and taking a little time to get a job, it's a wake-up call. It is an absolute wake-up call, because what we're seeing, I believe we see here in New Hampshire is happening, and I don't think I believe, in every state, right? I think to the degree, I don't know, my point is, it's a real education here in New Hampshire for somebody that really doesn't know much about politics or the
It is.
Yeah,
It is
you know what I'm saying?
It
The
is an
swamp.
awakening.
It
If
is.
you haven't been involved in politics.
Yes.
We do live for what we do.
Yep.
We happen to be in the great state of New Hampshire, which is good for this, because
Yes.
small population, the number of political activists that our real target market are the political activists on the right, which number of maybe 2,000 to 4,000 at the most, probably
Okay.
2,000 people active
Okay.
all over. But the left reads us as well, so double that or a little bit more.
Mhm.
To understand why it's so bloodthirsty is part of that smallness. We all know each other, but also, and this is a good thing, that this is a state in which citizen involvement is high. Everybody gets involved. I would say that probably in my town, 3/4 of the adult population has served on one board or another, or has run for office.
Mhm.
We take it here in New Hampshire. We take that civic responsibility, not a giving back. I hate that phrase, but civic responsibility seriously, and you can do it. One person can make a difference here. I don't even want to begin to guess how many races have been decided by one vote.
Yeah, that's
at
right.
all levels of government.
That's right. That's right. That's exactly right. So anyway, so moving on here. Do we have that clip up and going? So I was going to spend more time with you, Steve, on some of your blogs. I'm going to call them blogs,
Right.
posts. But I think I want to get to this, okay? And I'm afraid we won't. All right. So one of yours posts.
She's looking at me.
Skip. Well, actually, I think there's two that are related. But so you have one that is entitled, it's from September 25th. How much more degeneracy and deviancy are we going to put up with in sexualizing our society and our children? So that's one.
Okay.
Remember that one? Of course you do. You wrote it. You wrote it, didn't you write it?
I've got 17,000 posts.
Oh
on
my
it.
gosh! Come on, this is
Do
just a few days ago. Come on, man.
you know how much stuff we're both involved in?
Whatever. The other one, the other one
You know what?
is
We have this radio thing that we do once a month too.
Yeah.
okay. The other one is notable quote. Murphy Brown was not
Yes.
not the one that was correct. Okay, so they're kind of right.
Yep,
So
they are.
okay, so let's go ahead, and you referenced it in one of these. But there is a clip that we're going to play here from what is it? Let me get it. Oh, come on, Yazoo. Thought I had it together. From Australian news, right? Australia, they rarely pay attention to what's going on here in America, and I love this because let's just listen up, and I'll then tell you who this is. Alrighty. That's right. Holy smokes. Okay, and there was more there, but also, you know, he did this about a year ago as well, referencing to a group the fact that he sleeps with one of the NEA, former NEA members, meaning his wife. And he did this back in 21. And I guess I'm just using that because I'm telling you, that's cringeworthy, and there's many, many, many more instances where we can point to him. And so with that said, I guess what I want to talk a little bit more about is the sexualization, right, of our children, right, and just where you were going with your two posts, Mr. Skip. Oh, you want to respond to that? You want to respond to that? There's so much
it is
more.
definitely creepy, and
It is creepy.
Given his history of smelling smaller children's hair and inappropriately touching or what have
Yeah, the whole leg thing and
Yeah.
the hairs on his legs, and so that's in there as well.
That's part of it.
So this is Sky News Australia, by
Yeah.
the way, and this is just a couple of
It
days
is.
ago.
It is really, really bad.
It really is.
But that's what we're seeing is a sexualization of children. When you look at the transgender cult, as Steve puts it, where they're trying to push the notion of, well, what gender are you? And trying to put sexuality versus teaching about biology lower and lower. What is the purpose? One is to create chaos, because if you're being told at home what you are, or assumed what you are, and now the authority figure in school is telling you, no, you're not, it creates doubt and chaos at a very young age,
That's right.
to the point where can that child ever think of things in absolute terms, which we know the world doesn't just change on a whim. Just because I'm a guy today doesn't mean I can be a girl tomorrow. It doesn't work that way. I'm a biologist, I know. But it also is a way of separating children from their parents. And we just saw that in Manchester with that decision that was rendered by Amy Messer, the judge that was appointed by Hassan, that ruled that parents have no right to have any say in how their child is taught in a public school. What that basically says, and Ed Mosca had the great line, by the way, another one of our writers, that basically says we're following in the steps of Lenin and Stalin and Hitler, where the kids are the government. Maybe it's just a little bit. And there was another national decision very similar to that, where parents, you elect your school board members, you pay taxes for everything that's going on, but you work for them, not the other way around, which is why I've been working against school boards. My latest project is to get all the naughty books publicized in all the public school libraries. And that's another way where the sexualization is happening, where you see genderqueer and a whole host of books that are filled with porn. We're going to put out a mailer. Somebody dummied one up, and I said, I couldn't even put Granite Rock's name on this because it's porn. The post office would arrest me. So I'll call you for bail.
Alexa doesn't like you. And I don't know. And I mean, the reason this is weird, I know. The reason I say this, I'm random, squirrel, but because Alexa, y'all don't have Alexas in your home.
Nope.
Unfortunately, I have them everywhere, and so she pops headlines up, a lot. And I want to throw. Actually, I did pull the plug lots of times because she is a communist. I mean, I'm not kidding you. She is an absolute communist, but
Her real name is Alexi.
But one of the headlines was, it's been a couple weeks, is the risk of banning books. Where are we going when we start banning books? And we know what she's talking about. I didn't even have to go to the article that she's referencing, right? She's talking about the conservatives who do not want their children exposed to this kind of trash, garbage at any age, to be honest, but certainly in kindergarten.
But that isn't banning a book.
But that's what but that is,
I
you know what I'm doing?
That's what the
That's the
American
headline.
Librarian Association is
Yes.
trying to push.
That's what they're doing. That we are book burning, book banning,
Yeah.
right?
All we're saying on our side,
Yep.
and the message is getting lost,
Mhm.
you can write that book, but I don't want my taxpayer
right.
money used for that, and I don't want my child having access to it.
That's right.
If you put it in the adult section of a public library and small children are kept out of that area, I would kind of say, all right, sort of. But to make it easily accessible, I've already caught 3 districts having pornography in their libraries. I'll be posting a lot about that.
Did you ask him where they keep all the heterosexual porn? Because it's always gay porn.
And transgender porn. Yeah, I know.
Transgender porn.
I-
So, if you're going to have porn,
Well,
you should
Jody
have
put-
equity and diversity and inclusion.
Well,
You should
we-
have all the porn, not
we-
just some of it.
we had all of that a few years ago up in Guilford, where an English teacher had a book assignment by Jodi Picoult, and I'm trying to remember the name, and I'm losing it, but there was a violent rape scene in it. She did not, the teacher did not follow the law and tell parents, by the way, I am assigning this, and my friend's kids brought it home. And he tried to protest this, and he got arrested because the school board wouldn't put up with it.
Oh, Billy Bear?
That's right. Yeah. And that's all on Granite Rock. This is why we can become self-referential.
Yeah, y'all do just some amazing work. Okay, just specifically in your article, your post, how much more did you know what I'm talking about, on September
And we are.
25th,
We're
yeah.
slowly
So-
by slowly, and that's on purpose.
But-
Occam's razor tells me It has to be on purpose because this is not accidental.
It is not accidental. It's obviously intentional, right? Absolutely. But you referenced this woman who is the Minister of Equality in Spain, right? And so, she,
yes.
as part of a speech she was making, says that equality. It's in Spanish. You have the video here in
Yep.
your, that
And there's
people can-
subtitles.
and there's subtitles, but she says this is in Spain, which is she's a communist. I mean, says that equality means children have the right to have sex if they want to, and she verbally elicits. She says this in this clip, correct?
That's
In
true.
Spain. Yep.
That's true,
Mhm.
and the new phrase is minor attracted people or MAPS. They hate the idea of pedophilia. Once again, the left has burnt out a word, or that common society, regular society, normal society, has said pedophilia is bad.
Mhm.
So you're
So,
going to be really careful because they're going to become ordinance attracting people because there's an awful lot of parents out there who aren't going to put up with that stuff and somebody's going to get killed.
yeah,
I'm not condoning it, I'm not suggesting it, I'm not recommending it, I'm just saying that's a fact.
Yeah.
I
Well,
mean, if you've got crazy Democrats after Biden's red speech running down Republicans in the street,
That's right.
or
That
shooting
18-year-old kid.
pro-abortion, door-to-door people, women, that's the tip of the iceberg right there. I mean, they want that to happen, but the entire time they've been saying it's us doing it, which of course is projection. They
Yep.
always tell you what they're going to do by accusing you of it. But again, I'm telling you people, if this is a problem you have, if you're attracted to minors, someone's going to kill you. Just don't do it. If you get arrested and go to jail, the criminals in jail are going to kill you. Just don't. If you want to live, figure it out. Do something else. with
Unless
your
you're
life.
an illegal alien, by the way.
Oh, that's
And
true.
then that's a whole different ballgame because you'll be walking the streets, in no time, whatever you do, even if it's manslaughter, because we've been taught. That's the other piece I would like to move to, if y'all don't mind, real quickly. I think
it's your show.
y'all have. Yeah, it is. So, you, Mr. Steve McDonald, have done a few posts about the illegal immigration, the catastrophe, and you talk about intentional. You talk about absolutely intentional what's happening in this country. 4 million illegal aliens, at least. We don't know how many. We just don't even know have crossed over. And that's not even overstayed visas, blah 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 blah, right? It's catastrophic. It is absolutely catastrophic, and we know, and I've been talking about it this week about fentanyl, right? And I mean, the ramifications are monstrous. And for me, and we have just enough minutes to do this, is that for me personally, I believe, and I'm going to restate it, is that what's happening here in our country is intentional, and I label it treasonous, by the way, by this administration, for sure, because it wasn't happening prior to this administration. Yes, for decades, right? We have had folks crossing over that border, sometimes more, sometimes less. It's very long, very treacherous, a tough border, no doubt about it, right? But since with the advent of this regime, okay, it has exploded. We're talking 4 to 5 million in the course of a year and a half, right? I mean, by the end of this administration, we'd be talking 20 million. That's more than all the states, all the population of all the New England states put together, right? So, where was I going? Okay.
Something I wrote.
Something you wrote. Yes, I want to talk about this a little bit because you do have one blog for sure entitled Sanctuary Democrats in One Picture. Oh my God, this one is hysterical, actually. Let me find it. Because you have some cartoonage. Y'all come up with the greatest stuff. Sanctuary Democrats in One Picture. Here's one. And you have another, but I can't find it, okay? But it's part of your yard sign one. So anyway,
Okay,
my
yeah,
point.
here it is.
Yeah, it's there too. Okay,
Yes.
sorry. Yeah. So you've got two of them that are two blogs, two posts that are awesome. Let's begin at talking a little bit quickly about immigration and the border, if y'all don't mind, because again, being from Texas,
It's a big deal.
it is a big deal, and to me, it's the biggest existential threat to this nation. I believe that our real enemies, i.e., let's say China, they don't have to do much of anything. Actually, they're part of the problem, of course, because we know the fentanyl or the products of the fentanyl, byproducts of the fentanyl, are making their way to this country and killing 250 of our young people, anywhere from 18 to 45 a day, right? So 250 a day, a day. And so I think we're in deep, deep trouble. And to me, this is the biggest. It is. There's so many big ones, but this one by far is the biggest, because what are we going to look like? What is this country going to look like in 3 more years of this? And it's going to be more than that, because you can't stop it overnight, right? So whoever wants to go, Steve, I'll let you.
Well, first of all, we know it's deliberate because you choose not to enforce the law.
That's right.
So you can't get any more deliberate than that. The law says what you should do, and they're just not doing it.
Isn't that treason? That's treason.
Yes.
Because that is what the federal, and even Abbott, didn't do anything for a freaking year. Nothing for a year, because it's the federal government's, and it is responsibility. But he sat back and did nothing to speak of for a year, but bitch. Okay? So, yes, and that is treason. That is treason by this administration. That is treason by many more people. They are not protecting, and the crime by many of these illegal aliens, not all, of course, is astronomical. In Texas, especially. We talked about it this week. So, and then, okay, go again. There was something else I was going to say. You know me.
Well, like Skip said about destabilizing, okay, the middle class is the biggest problem that the Democrat Party has, because they're relatively comfortable. They have adequate means to live a comfortable lifestyle, and as long as they exist and they vote to protect that lifestyle, they can't really take over the country. So they need to knock them out of their comfort zone as many friggin' times as they can, while they work on upcoming generations to turn them into Marxists, so that they don't have to do that anymore. So flooding the nation with illegals definitely knocks everything off its perch. It feeds into Cloward Piven, which is the deliberate overbearing of every function of society. And so they just keep applying pressure and applying pressure and applying pressure. When you started the show, you were like, there's not a lot of happy things going on. It's not really, sunshine and rainbows or anything. Well, there's lots of rainbows, but that's something else. I'm sorry, I can't help it.
It's okay. It's okay, because we got about 5 minutes, and so we're gonna kind of.
So but all of this, all this talk, all the Democrats. Oh, we love the illegal immigrants, the migrants.
That's right.
We embrace them. We put signs in our yard that says they're welcome. And then of course Republicans are like, all right, well, if they're welcome here, have some. And the first thing they do is go, oh my Lord, what do I do? Right? And of course, the penultimate expression of this was when DeSantis sent 50 Venezuelans to Martha's Vineyard.
That's right.
And in less than 72 hours, they were gone, frog marched out by armed men to some other location than where they were. And so
I think it's a military base, by the way. Yes.
National Guard military base.
That's right.
So they basically said, well, this is what we say, and this is what we do. And thank you, Ron DeSantis, because, this actually got a lot of play. A lot of people saw this. And these are the examples. You just have to keep coming up with these examples.
Yes.
I have a post going up today. They've been busting on the Free Staters about secession vote. But 153 Democrats voted to save that bill so it would go to the floor of the House, even though it had a 21-0 recommendation from committee to kill it. Why aren't we talking about those 152 Democrats who voted to save this bill?
And
they did kill it. They hightailed it later, but they could have just killed it right then.
But it was a political stunt.
That's
It
right.
was a political
And the
stunt.
problem is our education system is so bad, and as I tell Democrats this, they just stare at me like, oh crap, he does know history. Wasn't the United States born out of secession from
Yes.
Great Britain?
That's right.
That we told King George to go pound sand?
Exactly
So
right.
this is not new. We are a rebellious people, except that some people saw, again, a political play. I think sending the illegal aliens to these bastions of Democrat strongholds where they have these, we like everybody, and then making them prove it is a wonderful way to show how two-faced they really are. And the normal question is, which gets fluffed off, is, well, how many illegals do you have in your house? You had, Obama, you had that great big tent up for your birthday that's bigger than my house. How many illegals could we have put there? You could have had 200 illegal aliens, and you've now got the cash trading in on your political success and your books and speeches. You could have fed them for years. Well, don't you like happy illegal aliens? But then I'm talking Saul Alinsky's rules for radicals here, which he was a master of.
And of course they say they like women and children, but they don't say anything about the women and children being trafficked from south of the border into America. You know, they say they care about students or whatever, but these are the people who are ending up drug overdosing on fentanyl that came from China into Mexico across the border. And so every single example of them claiming to be compassionate basically demonstrates the opposite. And that's, you just have to keep showing people that.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a jerk about it. You don't have to rub it in their face. You just have to say, here's what they're saying, here's what's happening.
That's right.
Connect a couple of dots.
Like
That's right.
Hassan is now pushing the, well, I'm for funding the police, when before she
That's right.
wasn't. And she's got ads up now concerning that. There's a sheriff, and I forget which one it is. But you know, there's lots of places here in America where the police don't want to be, and the normal reaction has happened. Well, if the government, who says it should have a monopoly, the Democrats say only government should have a monopoly on force, is not going to use that force, then ordinary citizens are going to use that. Now the Democrats are crying about, well, that's vigilantism. Well, guess what, folks? When you've pulled the police, this is what you get. This is why Democrats keep pushing their leftist agenda, never understanding that at some point, human nature, in order to protect their own families and their friends and their neighbors, are going to say, we've had enough of this. Government has failed. We now have to we're going to take our rights back.
That's right.
And most
That's
states
right.
have a right to citizens arrest. So I mean, it's not like, you know, I mean, you should check your locality and make sure you do. But if there is a legitimate crime taking place, and hopefully you have witnesses, because that you're going to need them if you arrest somebody.
Yeah.
You know,
We're done.
we're done.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking.
Okay, folks.
Goobers of Granite Crime.
Well, you all, thank you, you two, for joining me yet again this month. It's been a pleasure. Not enough time for sure. Thank you for my pen back. Maybe the next test quiz you'll pass, Mr. Skip Murphy. And Steve McDonald, is that right? Yeah. Thank you both for joining me today. We can find you at granitegrok.com, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All righty. Hey, and thank you all for joining me this week. It's been just a pleasure and so much fun. And so until Monday, y'all take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Hey, Steve. Mission accomplished again. She almost lost it.
Where did I almost lost it?
Several points.
Oh, okay.
At least
Okay.
in the beginning.
In the beginning. Okay. I don't know.
Grok TV.